All right, welcome everybody. It's the first show. Yay! Holy shit, it actually is happening. Well, welcome everybody to the premiere episode of After Dark with John Shaw. Guess who I am? Yeah, son. Well, today's the first episode, so we're really excited. I've, of course, brought on somebody that I love so much. Before I became friends with him, I was a fan of his. After watching him on AGT, like most of America. Obviously, Europe and New Zealand and Australia have known about this guy for longer than we have. But now we have him in the U.S., and more important, we have him right here in Las Vegas, and that's the coolest fucking part for me. And
Good evening. Welcome to America's Got Talent.
I'm a little afraid now. I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And you are you. What do you have a name? You're taped. You're taped. What are you going to be doing? You don't know.
So, what is this?
Maybe will we talk after?
Maybe.
Okay, I love a mystery. Go ahead and do what it is you do.
There's only you in my life, the only thing that's right.
Silly.
My first love, your every breath that I take, your every step I make,
And I want to share all my love with you. No one else will do.
and your eyes, they tell me how much you care.
Oh yes, you will always be
My endless love.
Never seen you looking so lovely as you did tonight. Never seen you shine so brilliant. Never seen so many men ask you if you wanted to dance. Looking for a little romance. Given half a chance. I have never seen that dress you're wearing, or the highlights in your hair that catch your eye. I have been blind, lady in red.
And we are back. Hello, Sam.
Hello world.
Hello. You're gonna get a little closer.
I can do that.
Yeah. There we go.
The applause sounds a lot cooler through your cans.
It does, right?
Yeah.
It makes it feel like there's actually people here. Well, it's Tape Face Untaped, which is
Untaped
great,
Tape
and I do
Face.
appreciate you coming in.
That's good.
And I haven't seen you in a little bit. We've talked since you've been more recently. You've been in Paris and
Paris
stuff.
for 2 months.
Yeah, how was
Taping
that?
up. It was very French.
It was very French?
Yeah, it was
Did you
very
get a lot of baguettes?
No, there was everybody had a baguette. Everyone was walking around with a baguette. I kid you not. They were just
Baguette cars.
They're just walking around just eating
Yeah.
a baguette. Who the hell eats a baguette on its own? I don't know. The French.
The French.
Yeah.
No fries, though.
I'm
right?
just they're just straight up fries. See, I'm ingrained to not like the French. I'm sorry, Paris, and I'm going to have to do this, but I just don't like the French because of being a street performer in Covent Garden.
Ah.
So when I was busking back in the day, the young French kids, the school groups would come in and they'd do one whole side of an audience,
Mm-hmm.
and then they would hang out for the show. But in the moment you do the hat line, they would all get up and walk away.
And just walk away from you.
Horrible people,
Bitches.
arrogant pricks.
Yeah.
But other than that, I love the French.
Other than that, the Eiffel Tower was nice. Yeah,
Eiffel Tower was
I saw the
beautiful.
photo of you guys.
Yeah, it was really
That was a
good.
nice little
It was
moment.
romantic. It was
Yeah.
the city of love,
Yeah.
or that section of it.
At
and
least
then,
that one se-
but
no,
then the
no.
catacombs were cooler.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because there's nothing more romantic than making out and then going
Going
down
seeing
into the
6 million
into
dead
the
bodies.
sewers and looking at dead bodies all night.
It's just a Tuesday night for you.
I did take a girl on a date to a crematorium one time. And we cremated bodies there. That's a real thing. That did happen.
My dad had a friend who worked
Fantastic.
at a crematorium, and he used to heat up his meat pie on the crema.
Oh, I'm
on
sure
the-
you could. Yeah, it's
He'd put
stupid
the
hot.
cold pie in there, do the bodies, and
Yeah.
then by around mid-morning, ready to go.
Yeah, there's nothing that brings people closer together than, throwing somebody's loved one in a box into a retort and cooking them up and then
Cooking a
smashing
pie.
them with a giant,
I
fork.
wasn't expecting it to go this way so quick.
Welcome to After Dark.
Good.
Oh my God. So, but you're back in town.
Back in
You're
town.
You're only in town for a few days, though.
A few days, and then we're back out on tour, heading to Holland for the new show touring. So
Okay,
I'm
so this is going to be a new act. Is it new material
it's
or a
whole
mixture
new,
of both?
whole new hour of new material. So I'm breaking in a new show. So currently I've written 3 shows. So this
Correct,
is my
yeah.
third show that we're working out the
Okay.
fine-tuning bits and pieces. And then I'm going to do, then back here in Vegas to just come back to doing the Vegas
All right.
shows.
So the Vegas show. Now, is the Vegas show going to stay the same?
Yes.
That's
Yep.
going to be like the stuff
I'm gonna-
that people in the U.S. here
Yep,
obviously
that's the
know
balloon
about
show.
you. Though,
When they come and see the Tape Face show, that's what they're saying. It's
Yeah,
like
okay.
if you go to see Blue Man Group, you know they're going to throw confetti and stuff around at
yes,
the
and,
end. So
and
with
marshmallows and all that kind of good
so
stuff.
the Tape Face show is going to finish with Chaos of Balloons. That's
Great.
pretty much it.
Wow. Well, I mean, for those people who don't know you, who
Yes.
I don't know who that would be at this point, millions of views. Come on,
Few
seriously.
of them.
I mean, you even had a great experience more recently at the Neon Museum
Yes.
here, where you got blown away.
I know.
Didn't realize how popular you were
Because
somebody who inspired you
yes.
knew who you were.
I know, that was Mr. Tim Burton.
Mr.
And
Tim
the,
Burton.
the inner child in me completely freaked
Fell
out.
apart.
Oh, it was a mess.
Freaking out,
It was
yeah.
great fun. I bought everything in the gift shop.
Of course, yeah. We went actually just recently too. We actually went through and stuff because I wanted the boy with nails in his eyes,
his eyes, yes.
which you had mentioned. That's kind of where
That's one of the reasons why,
why
the
your tape face, the boy with
yeah.
tape on his face.
So I
kind of
read that,
existed.
what the melancholy death of Oyster Boy and other stories, and then that is the boy with nails in his eyes. So when I was developing the act, it wasn't always called Tape Face; it was called the boy with tape on his face.
Yes.
So yeah, I like the idea of a name that is very literal and straightforward and gets to the point. And it was my little homage to Tim Burton.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember you telling me that story, and I thought it was really cool. So how did this all start? Like you didn't start day one. Obviously, this character has been for what, like 15 years?
15 years now,
You've
but it
developed
came
this?
out of a kind of an act of rebellion, really. So my old show was my first real sort of style of performing. So I think you must know, from street performing.
Yes.
So my background was at the age of 12, I got given a magic set. So every kid gets a magic set at some point, does magic tricks. I stalked my local clown. That's the one that always freaks people out, how to stalk a clown. I followed this guy around shopping malls and parties and
Really?
things like that.
Like
and
wherever you could find
Wherever-
where
he was
Do you
called-
remember the name?
Jaffa the clown.
Jeffer?
Jaffa.
Jeffer the clown.
Jaffa is a type of lolly in New Zealand. a type
Oh,
of
okay,
candy, a
okay.
Jaffa.
Oh, for those of you guys who might not
Oh,
know,
yeah, I'm from New
he
Zealand.
is not from America, oddly enough.
Yeah, how are you? G'day.
And he's not Australian.
No, I'm not Australian, thank you.
He is from Alabama. No,
Yep.
he is from New Zealand, and they're big friends with the Australians.
Yeah,
They're
we love them.
They're very close.
Can't get close enough. It's good.
It was very odd because when I went to Australia,
I'm not Australian, John. You know that.
I know.
Just-
When I went to Australia, I didn't know there was such a big rivalry between Australians and New Zealanders.
Yeah, the Australians-
And I found it to be very bizarre because I made a joke about oh, Kiwi, and they were like, they literally lost their shit. And they were freaking out like, you don't say that. I'm like, oh, sorry, Crocodile
Yeah.
Dundee, what the fuck?
They are very much Australians. Australians steal all the New Zealand comedy as well.
Oh,
they
well, there you go.
cherry pick the best lot of us and take them over to Australia and
Nice.
steal them.
So, but you got your start busking on the streets.
Busking and doing my
But you started in magic, yeah.
Started out in magic and then stalked the clown, and then I eventually found out where the clown lived, and
Yes.
I went to his house with my small suitcase of magic tricks. I had like all those kids' magic tricks
Yeah.
and whatnot.
All the little plastic stuff.
Oh, yeah,
The
it was-
vase and ball and chop
my
cups and all that
Svengali
stuff.
deck doing his
Nice.
thing, and so I knocked on his door and I auditioned myself, and he let me be in his show.
Wow.
So my parents came around to his house, and I had a
Like,
big
now, did the
discussion.
audition take place like on
On the doorstep,
doorstep?
pretty much
He
on
didn't
the-
let you in.
No,
Well, at least
showed
he
him
was
these-
forward thinking, because nowadays,
Yeah, you don't bring a
lawsuit.
child in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
can't do
like,
that.
oh, and you're going to prison. I'm Jeffrey Epstein, and I'm dead.
Yeah, pretty much. So I auditioned myself on the doorstep, and he called my parents, and they came over. Then we went inside the house and had a big discussion, and I was allowed to be in his show on the weekends.
Nice.
So I got to do shopping mall stuff. So
Now,
he
was he paying you?
yeah,
he did pay
He
you?
did pay me. I got
Really?
a good.
Now, did you have to do the grunt work too? Like, did you have to
helping out.
hump all the gear out of the,
Oh
out
yeah,
of the
helped
truck
out with all
or
of that, helped
van or
load up,
whatnot?
set up, and all the
Yeah,
stuff and that
all
sort
that
of thing,
stuff.
which
All
was all
right.
good. But I wasn't a clown at that point. He helped me then became a clown. So I got the makeup and the
Oh,
costume.
okay.
And
So you
worked
just
on
wanted
that.
to be a magician.
I was just doing magic.
Just
I was
doing
just a nerdy little magician.
and
But
then you discovered.
Then
the
he taught me how to
clown.
juggle.
Oh,
That
taught
was
you
the
how to
key
juggle
thing.
first.
So
Okay.
I got mad into juggling. So juggling became my main thing. So I gave up all the magic and focused on juggling. So I'm still about juggling today. I love watching juggling videos
Yeah.
and that sort of thing. But then the juggling stuff, then from there, he taught me what else? Just the basics of everything, really. Cigar boxes, clubs, rings, Diablo, Devil Stick, and everything. I found out there was a circus school in the next town up. So I moved into to Christchurch, and I studied at Circle Arts for 2 years. So that was our first circus school in New Zealand.
Okay.
And so it's like NICA, or do you have a circus school in America? Do you do that sort of thing?
I know there are. I have friends who do
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, but it's not like a proper. I don't think there's
Not
a
a real-
proper circus school.
Okay.
But I know there's some great people. Keith Bindlestiff from the Bindlestiff
Oh, yeah, Bindlestiff
Family
Family
Circus
Circus,
in
yep.
New York City does some fantastic stuff. Him and Stephanie. I've done shows with them years ago in New York, and they're fantastic people. Yeah.
So I trained at Circle Arts, and while I was training there, I developed my street performing skills that I thought were fantastic, but were probably a bit rough around the edges. And then I moved into comedy from there because a friend of mine, Jared Christmas, a very, very good comedian, one of his comedians dropped out last minute. And so he called me up and said, "Can I fill in a spot?" And so I was like, "Yeah, can I juggle fire inside?" And he's like, "No, you can't juggle fire inside." So bring everything else. So I bought a little suitcase of toys and discovered that it's a lot easier to entertain people when you don't have to stop them in the street.
Yes.
And so they're there and waiting. So I did my freak show comedy stuff. So this was me. My old show was me hammering nails into my face, as you know.
Yes.
Pushing body through tennis rackets, power drills, and weird things. And then I kept developing that show I was New Zealand's only prop comedian. So,
Wow,
yeah.
that was a good bit then.
That was really
You were the
handy.
Carrot Top of
I
New
was
Zealand.
the Carrot Top of New Zealand. So Sky City Casino, bless their soul, they were looking for a comedy show because the licensing laws for them to have a casino up and running was that they had to have live entertainment.
Okay.
For the
So
first
that's a
10
rule,
years.
yeah.
So I was their live entertainment.
Oh, that's
so the NBC Comedy Hour was born. So I did that for 7 years. I had a residency at Sky City Casino
Wow, that's
doing
great.
a gig that we nicknamed the Soul Destroyer. So it was essentially a street show inside a casino. So I hadn't
Yeah.
really gone up that much.
Yeah,
I'm
you
just
had a
indoors.
roof, you
Yeah, I
didn't
had
get
a
rained
roof.
on.
I had a roof and I had the noise of pokey machines and gambling in the distance.
Which is always awesome.
Delightful
Yeah.
environment for a show.
That's about a bunch of blue hairs hitting the feeder bar.
So my job was to go out to an audience of tables and chairs and try and bring in a crowd. So I would literally do the opening of a street show, bring in an audience sitting down, and then we would do a comedy hour.
And you just didn't have to do the hat pitch.
Didn't have to do the hat pitch. Thank God for that.
Oh yeah, so
that
that's
was my old show, and I did that. And then in 2005, I wrote a show with pretty much summing up all of that called Dance Monkey Dance, and that show won like New Zealand's biggest comedy award at the time. It was the Billy T. James Award, and from that, everyone then expected me to keep doing these shows where I talk, and do all these weird
Yeah.
tricks. That's why Tape Face came about because I
as soon as
like
they-
to do the opposite.
Yeah,
of
as
what
soon as
people
somebody was
expect.
like, "No, this is your thing," and you're like,
Yeah.
"No,
No, it's
no,
not. No, it's not. I'm doing
just,
something else now."
Just because.
And also, I think there's a certain, for me, I needed to find a way to keep performing, and like I wasn't going to keep fitting through a tennis racket. Who are we kidding?
I mean, yeah, eventually, yeah. I mean, I don't know
Eventually,
a lot of old contortionists, to be
yeah,
honest with
not
you.
with a world of arthritis. So I was trying to look for that. What can I do ongoing? And then the boy with tape on his face was invented.
Wow.
So it was just a 5-minute routine, just to kind of prove a point that I could shut up. Went out there and went, okay, I can do that. Wrote another 5 minutes, then wrote 10 minutes, wrote 20 minutes. And I thought, I wonder if an audience would watch an hour of this.
Of the
of an hour
What
of
was the?
something.
Do you remember the very first thing you did as Tape
The
Face?
very first routine, and I still know the first volunteer as well.
Wow.
Actually, I'm friends with the first volunteer, Faith Ashley Wong. If you're listening or watching, I will send you those pictures of those cats. I remembered I need to do that. The first routine was the milk. It was still very street performer based as well,
Yeah.
though. Milk crate stacking.
Okay.
So I
Yeah.
get a milk crate and I stack it up. So the idea was Tapeface would walk out on stage. I looked up and I previously hung up a set of scissors, so that was the gag.
Okay.
I want the scissors. I climb the milk crate, stack, really, really dangerous. Get to the top. I reach in and I take out my own scissors
And
I
snip the
cut
line.
it down. That was the gag.
Well, that's great. That's funny, though.
Yeah, it's a good first
It's
gag.
super funny, yeah.
It's not the way you say it like that. It was super funny.
It's super funny.
That was funny enough for a first bit. So then, thank you very much. The single clapping in the background. It's good. The audience reacted a lot better than that. And then, then I did essentially a crude version of what I call sitting at the dock on the bay, which is where I get the girl up on stage and we sit next to each other, and then the awkward hand holding, and then the kiss moment. And that was Faith Ashley Wong. I chose her from the crowd.
Wow.
And she came up, and I remember because years later I found the picture, somebody had taken a photo, and I posted it on social media, and she got in touch saying, "That's me."
That's-
and
oh,
it's like,
wow.
wow, you're the first ever Tapeface volunteer.
Wow.
So she now has tickets for life. So
Wow,
that's
that's really great.
Cool.
Has she been to Vegas yet?
No, I don't think she's been up to Vegas. She's been seeing the show in Edinburgh.
Okay,
whenever,
so she's
whenever we
come
go
to-
back to New Zealand and
Okay.
do tours, she always
Because you
comes
were
along.
living in England before you came
I
here.
was living in the UK, so
Yeah.
I was in New Zealand. I gave up comedy in around 2009 or 2007. 2007, I sort of gave up doing comedy and
Yeah.
wanted to focus on rediscovering why I was being a performer. Moved to the UK to work at Covent Garden and do street shows, and slowly found my way going back into the comedy scene. It's just
It just drove it.
yeah, you end up
Yeah.
getting drawn.
If
back
you're funny,
into
you're
it.
funny.
Yeah,
I mean,
you want to go.
A
to
lot of people
comedy
think they're
clubs.
funny, and they're not. And we know a lot of them. But it's like one of those things. Like you can't. Like I got out of performing for a while.
Yeah,
And there was a time in my life because of my problems with drinking too much and doing all that stuff. I knew my show sucked.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm done. I'm quitting. I'm done. I sold my prop. But then. I came back.
Yeah,
like I said, I'm in my head. I
back.
was done. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm just gonna build props and
Nah.
consult, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I don't want to fucking do this anymore.
For me, it's always taking that step back and going, why did I get there?
Yeah.
So restart and go that
Yep.
way. So then what was the plan? Yeah, busking and moving into comedy. And then the Tapeface thing just sort of carried on evolving, and then got an agent in the UK. And then he blew open some doors for me, kind of thing.
Nice.
So-
Now the costume.
Yes.
I mean the whole look thing. What came first? Was it the makeup, the hair, the costume?
I would say the
bag.
hair- the
Was the bag
hairstyle.
always part of it?
Yeah, the bag was always part of
Was
the
it-
satchel. I always tend to run around with those, what are they called? Carrier cases, messenger bags,
Yeah.
kind of thing. I always
Man
had
purse.
a man purse, my nurse. I always had the grey, the stripes were always there because, actually, no, their first version was just a black shirt. With
Black
a
shirt.
Black shirt with a grey jacket and grey jeans. I think it was just essentially a costume made out of my wardrobe.
Of what you had like
Yeah,
at
thrown
home, like, hey,
together.
I need to, and this will work.
Yeah, and then the
And
tape.
it was comfortable.
Yeah, it was comfortable.
Was
to wear.
was
And
comfortable? Was that part of your thing? Like,
Yeah.
did you like
well,
think about like I wanted to be? I don't want to.
Initially, I didn't really overthink it too much.
Yeah.
It was just put together.
I just threw this
And
together.
then now, when I look back at the costume and go, okay, there's costume choices where I go, when you look at it, you go, okay, well, I'm wearing the trainers because they're comfortable. The jeans are making it more relaxed. The jacket is kind of dressy, so it looks like they put in some effort.
But
And-
oversized.
Oversized a
Yeah.
wee bit, and then the stripes are just a bit of a nod towards mine, and that was
Yeah.
it. But the hairstyle, I think I already had the hairstyle at the time. The downer is that I've now had the same hairstyle for 15 years.
Join the club.
I wish I wore a hat.
Look
I
at
wish
this.
I wore a hat.
Look at this.
I know, it's
Look
good.
at this.
And then the makeup was sort of developed in the later years. So that's when I worked with a director called Russell Lucas. He sort of challenged me to go back to my original viewings of Tapeface and sort of brought out more character. And then also because I was playing bigger venues. So it just started growing naturally, going, I need people to see my face more. And also the makeup and the hair and the tape, it takes away the personality to a degree as well. So
Gotcha.
that led towards more of the decision which we go into now, which was the branding
Yes.
of the show.
Which
So, yeah.
which you've been working on. I know
Yes.
since I've met you, I don't know, probably was 4
4
years
years
ago.
ago now,
I met you
yeah.
when you very first came to Vegas.
Yep.
You were at the Flamingo at the time.
Yes.
And I remember I knew we had a mutual friend Nick DeFott.
Yes.
And he was like, you got to meet him. And I went to you were giving a little talk actually at a Magic Luncheon.
Oh, that's right. I was sick as a dog.
Yes,
that
and
day,
you were
that's
sick
right.
as a
Yes.
dog, and I remember like I was like, I'm gonna go down. I want to talk to this guy.
Yeah.
And then you were very kind. You invited me to the show and whatnot, and I was just like, it was very interesting because when you walked into the show, I'd never seen your show, only saw the video, and I loved
Yeah.
it. And then I walked in the room, and you were sitting in the center of the room on a chair.
On the box thing, yeah.
And I was like, this is really weird. You're seeing the star of the show
For the first 30 minutes.
For the first 30 minutes of the
Sitting
show,
down.
just sitting there taking pictures.
Yeah.
Like, here's your photo op.
Photo-
Click.
pre-show photo
And a lot of people were
opportunity.
weirded out by it because they didn't know what
Yeah.
to do.
Vegas had never really done that
They
sort
know.
of thing.
They'd
No.
never seen it before. And I
should
thought
probably
that
keep doing it. I've
and I-
stopped doing it
And I
now.
thought that was very interesting because it did throw, like when I walked in, I'm like, oh shit, he's right there.
Yeah.
And
It's a
everyone
long- it's a
and
long
people
time
are
to
looking
sit.
at each other going,
Is this the show?
is this like
Yeah.
it's him. Can we go take? I would hear people talking like
Discussing and deciding if they could do photos or
Yeah,
not.
yeah. Should we ask him for a photo?
Believe me, the moment one person started a photo, that would.
It was
that
just like tick, 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 yeah.
Then people
Yeah.
would just be coming up, doing their thing. But for me, that was always a fun part because that was me picking all the volunteers.
Yes.
So pre-show, I'd figure out who was the crazy people, who
Yeah,
are the ones
who
to
was more
avoid, and
apt
who's,
to
who's
play
overly
along.
enthusiastic, who's
Yeah.
quiet, who does their thing.
Because I mean, your audience selection is
it's
it's
getting
pretty important.
yeah.
I
I
mean-
have chosen the wrong volunteers a few times.
I've been
Yeah.
to a few of those shows.
Yep,
and
indeed.
there's been a few glances off stage where you look at me like motherfucker.
Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. Yeah.
And it's super fun because I know the act so well, and then I was like, oh, that person's being
Yeah,
a
when
jerk.
you know they're not doing the right
Yes,
thing.
yeah,
like,
and it's super
that's
funny,
always a
and
joy.
you do have that one moment in the show with the shoes
Yeah.
that I really like, and to see
Oh,
people
the swapping
the
the-
swapping
yep,
of the shoes to see
one of the
people
favorite
how
gags.
where they're at, and it's funny because I added something kind of like that into my act at the museum.
Oh, really?
To see if people are paying attention.
Gotta have them.
And it's super funny because you did that, and I was like, I would make this one little joke, and then it's quiet. I'm like, no one's listening. Literally, everyone is tuned out, and they're just like, just put the drill in your face.
Yeah.
Just do the dance monkey, and just move along. We're done. And I'm like, okay,
hilarious.
moving right along. So we were talking about the branding of the show.
Yes.
So now you've expanded the show.
We have grown the show a lot. So we've now got 3 tape faces sort of banging around. So the original idea was I always wanted to grow and
the character.
Yeah, grow the
'Cause
character.
Sam Wills
yeah, I'm a person. I hide
is a
away.
person.
Yeah. You guys
And
don't
then-
need to know me at all.
Yeah,
I don't
and
exist.
Tapeface is the character.
Yep.
In a similar way, like I mean, the people doing Blue Man are none of the original
No,
guys.
they're all
those guys are
where they are.
done.
Yeah.
And haven't done shows in
Years.
forever.
Yeah.
But people don't even know that.
No.
Which I think is hilarious.
So for me, I think I'm still going to continue doing shows
Yes.
because I like performing and whatnot. What are you doing?
oh God.
So I'm always going to do shows and do it performing, but I don't want the show to stop with me. That's one of
Yes.
the saddest things I've always seen is when you see a show stop because the performer can't do it anymore.
Yes.
And so we wanted to not so much franchise because I don't want people to just go, oh, I can buy a tape face and just do that thing. So we've got complete control over how they are, what they're doing, and
Yes.
create and make sure it's show consistency. So we've got our second tape face is a young guy called Rob who we brought in a year ago, I think it was, and he started just doing the shows in Vegas, and then we had an opportunity, and so he sort of shadowed me around for a wee bit, and then he went through the intensive tape face boot camp, which is always a bit weird, and he survived that, and then he started doing the shows in Vegas. One of the coolest early transitions was when I was doing the shows and training him up to do spots. I
Yes.
would walk off the stage and he would walk on.
I was at that very first one.
Yeah, the
I was there.
round of
yes.
applause. They even thought it was a magic
They
trick.
thought it was because you
So
reappeared in
good.
the back of the crowd. And
Yeah.
I'm laughing in my head because I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
And then I watched people look, and
The
for
double takes
for the
was just
first
like,
few
what the
minutes, nobody had a clue that you guys switched.
Yeah,
And
so-
then I'm sitting there going, I'm wondering if they're going to pick up. You know, because he's slightly
He's
looks
slightly
a little
leaner.
a little
Yeah.
his nose is different, a little bit different, but. Like everyone's so focused in on the moment, and then you came out from the back of the crowd, and they were like, "That's some Siegfried and Roy shit."
I had a little break, a little coffee break back
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Nice
And I thought that was because he came up and I think he did the Rubik's
Rubik's
Cube
Cube
bit.
and Stripper, I think,
Yes.
are the two straightforward, easy bits. So he slowly broke in the show while together we had a shared show for a month or two, and then I just threw him in the deep end and gave him the shows.
Said,
and so,
"Do it."
so yeah, he's now built his tape face up so much. Like early on, character was a bit rough, and then
Yes.
he slowly smoothed it out. Now there's times where I look at him and just go, yeah, he's being me. He's
yeah,
doing a really good
he's
job.
literally doing
And
it,
then
yeah.
we brought in our third tape face, which has been really fun. So we threw Steve, tape face 3.
Mm-hmm.
He's currently out in Australia at the moment in a much bigger Cirque show. Sort
Okay.
of, it's called Cirque Stratosphere. And he's doing a couple of spots in that.
Nice.
So it's fun to take a tape face and plonk it into somebody else's show.
Yeah.
The interesting thing was that when Steve was in his training, he would be jumping into Rob's show. So Rob would leave off the stage and then
Yes.
Steve would come in. And then comments coming up on Facebook, social media of people saying like, I saw the original tape face and then T2 came out. And it was like...
So they didn't know.
They didn't know
They
because
didn't
I
know.
was in Paris doing shows, so they thought they
interesting.
thought T2 was T1 and T3
Yeah.
is T2 and T1 is having a break. Which T1 was not.
Which it was
T1
not.
was dealing with the French.
So here's an interesting question. I think. Have you ever considered a female tape face?
I have, because it changes the whole dynamic of comedy. It's a harder one to write. I just need to find the right style
of bits and stuff. Because
Yeah.
obviously there's things in there that
that are completely
that you could
boy.
a girl
Yeah.
probably wouldn't ever really be able to pull off.
The tricky thing that I find with Tapeface is that for me, writing routines, I'm writing it from a boy's point of view.
Exactly,
I can't
yeah.
help write it.
Yeah, it's like a little kid.
Yeah, it's a 9-year-old boy. So when I'm writing the material, when I'm picking a guy up on stage, I can't choose a female for those bits. It's like, you can't have a a tape measure penis competition with
Yeah.
a woman. I'm
It just
sorry,
wouldn't
doesn't-
make any sense.
I'm not being sexist. It's just you can't have a big penis competition with a woman. No. But you can write different jokes for a woman to bully men, because that's the thing.
Yeah.
When I'm picking on guys in the audience, it's okay, but a female could just flip it completely.
Yeah, and it would be hilarious.
Yeah,
It would be
so I
super,
think I'd
super
need to
funny.
work with somebody. It would probably need a female comedian who would want to try silent comedy.
Yeah.
and then because I wouldn't know where to start with some of the jokes, but then we'd take my material, adapt it, and then go.
Yeah,
from
see, and rework it. That'd be a pretty interesting flip flop there.
there. Kind of fun.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Cool. So let's see. So when I was preparing for this.
Oh, yeah.
So I reached out to some
we go.
friends and fans and stuff, and Trent was like, "Hey, what do you guys want to know?" Blah blah, blah, that kind of stuff.
What do people want to know?
So here's like some some of them were pretty interesting. Some of them I decided not to ask you.
These are the ones I want to know
And if you,
afterwards.
we'll get some. For those guys listening in, we're going to be at the end of the show. We're going to be giving away two VIP tickets, which are really cool because you could do a meet and greet with Sam before the show, and you get tchotchkes and shit.
Yeah, you get some free stuff.
And,
you get like a
and you get to
t-shirt
talk,
and a
and you get a
glove
picture and all this stuff
whatnot.
before the show, and it's like a private, like little meet and greet thing. It'll be really cool, and it's going to be at Harrah's, which
Harrah's,
is
6
which
nights
is-
a week.
Yeah, 6 nights a week, and it's a fantastic show. If you guys haven't been, please go. It is support all live shows here in town because
Yeah,
a
go
lot
see
of
live
people
shows.
work really hard
Yeah.
for a very long time to do this kind of stuff. But we're going to be doing at the very end of the show, which is in about almost 31 minutes now. We're going to be doing a giveaway for that.
Giveaway.
Giveaway. Woo! It's going to be titties and beer.
Huge giveaway.
But also you guys can download our app. It's the Go Live Vegas app. You go on, it's on Android, it's on Apple,
iOS.
it's on all those things, and download the app and you can listen to the shows and all that kind of good stuff. And then you can check us out online. If you're already online, you already know how it does. But for whatever reason, After Dark host for YouTube and for the Facebook. The Facebook,
Boom.
whatever the kids are into
the
these
book
days.
Of
right?
face.
So
And Twitter.
one of the fun ones was, do you have a celebrity crush?
Do I have a celebrity crush?
Yeah.
I suppose it was Tim Burton, and I met him, and it blew my mind.
And it blew
A
your mind,
celebrity
right?
Crush. Do I have it? Is there a celebrity I talk about that I go, oh, that celebrity? I'm asking into the wings now. What? I don't.
I mean, like some guys are like, oh,
No.
different girls or guys or whatever.
No, I think I'm
Midgets.
midgets. No.
Who's your
Do I
favorite
have a-
midget? I
who's
love
my
midgets.
favorite midget.
I love
Of
midgets.
all the
Midgets
midgets,
are the
there's
best.
just too many to choose from.
Little people are just some of my favorite things ever.
I'm trying to think. No, I don't think I have a celebrity crush because I don't like celebrities.
Celebrities?
Yeah, I think I have a built-in ingrained hate for people who buy into celebrity culture.
Yes, I agree.
think that
I agree.
They're all normal and nothing. I used to have a game with my friend Morgan where we would look at fancy people and just go, "Oh, I bet you they've got an incredibly dirty bottom." And it just takes away all of the high status when you go.
They don't have a bidet.
"Oh, no, you need
don't
to
wash."
sort your bot out. But no, the idea of celebrity I think is completely ridiculous, which is one of the reasons again why the tape face thing is fun to be able to just go. Tape face can exist in the public profile. I have a personal.
And
life.
then you have your own.
Leave me
Yes.
the hell alone. Yeah.
So when you did AGT, now AGT had come after you for a while.
Yeah, about
correct.
7 or so years, I think. they
7
were
or so years.
contacting-
They've been trying to
up
get
my
you.
agent, yeah.
Trying to get you like, hey,
We
we
were
want
just
this guy
busy.
on.
We were just busy doing
Yeah.
other shows. So when I was based in the UK, we would jump into Europe, do tours over there and whatnot, and it just never timed out. They would go, "Hey, do you want to be on the show?" It's like, "We're in Norway."
Because you were
sorry."
doing the Edinburgh Fringe Festival
Yep.
for a while, and then doing like really well over there.
We very much were. Now, again, America doesn't really take notice of much outside of America.
No, it's because it's America.
Yeah. So when in the UK, like we're doing the Edinburgh Fringe Festival,
Yeah.
building up my profile there. So I started out in 2010. I got nominated for Best Newcomer, but that was playing like a 120-seater. The following year, I moved up to a 300-seater. Then the following year, 700. So really building the show quality over there. And then when I came out to America for one of my first trips to think about bringing the show here, nobody knew who I was.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So it's like, well, AGT is that dreaded word of exposure.
Yes.
So yeah. So
Yes. Which everybody who's ever been in any kind of performance life has heard that
That
more
word, yeah.
than I won't pay you.
Yeah. So for me, it was going into AGT, ironically, with my eyes very wide open.
But this was like, I'm going to use this
Yeah,
for what
it's-
it
it's
is.
going
Like
to
you
be
knew
an
what it
advertising
was,
vehicle, yeah.
obviously.
It's a giant
Like,
commercial.
Yes. I mean, a lot of people who watch these shows, I have friends and family who watch these shows, and they really, truly believe that it's
Picking people up off the
that,
street.
yeah,
and
there's just
changing
these random
lives, yeah.
people standing online for hours and
I think
hours
they
and
do
hours.
find some
They do
people.
find some of
Yeah,
them,
sure. The
but
odd
they
diamond in the
also
rough.
do. I mean, I've been approached every year since it started. Hey, we really want magic. We really want sideshow, and I'm always like, no. I'm just
Yeah.
I just saw what happens, and I'm like, it's very
Oh yeah, the number
freaky.
of people when that, like you say, when that clip went out,
Yeah.
the number of Americans people going, yeah, we discovered.
We- yeah,
Tape
oh,
Face."
yeah, of
It's
course.
like, well, we've been doing this for about 8 years now.
Yeah.
Is what I think. Yeah, where was that going? I don't know.
Well, with the AGT, so with the AGT thing, so you finally made the decision.
To go on the show. We had a gap in the diary and it was like, right, do we want to do this? We were already in talks about bringing my show over to Vegas anyway.
Okay.
And so we decided that this would be the best profile boosting
Because
thing.
this is basically a commercial to like
It's
20
a
million
huge,
people.
Yeah, everything I do on TV is a giant commercial. So
Yes.
whether the AGT stuff was one to bring the show over here, when I did anything on TV in the UK, it's always normally to sell a tour.
Yeah.
So that's always the way forward. But for me, it was just trying to get the character out in front of as many American audiences as possible.
And how was your initial experience, like day one? Like, okay, so they heard everybody in once they picked the people to be on the very first go. Like, were they treating you?
Yeah, I was fine.
pretty decently.
I had a pretty good. I had my agent with me, so we made sure everything was all sort of fine. It was a wee bit nerve-wracking because I previously didn't like these TV shows, and I was fairly open talking about. I thought they'd broken variety. I didn't think they were doing good things, and I think these talent shows went through a bit of a kind of weird cycle where they initially started out like the original Britain's Got Talent. Some of their early episodes are some of the things they say to performers are outrageous.
Yes.
And they really just got people on, shamed them, kicked them off. Kind
Yeah,
of thing. It was
yeah,
like,
and
no.
some of it is really horrible
Yeah.
and like soul crushing.
And a lot of performers just avoided those shows for those reasons. And then I think the TV shows discovered that a lot of performers were avoiding those shows.
yeah, like
so they just
good
had to-
people who
they had
could
to
actually,
change- yeah.
like, make good
so
television.
the moment they started changing the way they treated the acts, then more acts started going, okay, I'm going to go on this, and saw it as what it is now, which is now it's a vehicle for getting your show out there. It's
Yes,
the greatest
yeah.
advertising available.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, and this is one of the greatest things about the show. It doesn't matter if you win.
Oh,
it does
God,
not
no.
matter. There's people who didn't even
Winning
place
is
in the
the
top
worst thing.
10,
Never win.
and have done very well.
My lesson for everybody watching and listening is to never win.
Yeah, because the winner,
Oh yeah,
I have not heard about her since she
yeah, I don't
won.
know what she's doing now.
I mean,
Some
well,
sort of
obviously we do
involved.
have a couple of guys here in town. We have like Matt Franco,
Yep.
obviously who won, and we have now Shit Lim,
Yes.
who like did all the winning.
Yeah. He did all of the
He did
winnings.
all the winning. He's won all the things, and I mean, just friggin' fantastic. God damn, his card
I
stuff
need
is
to
so.
see his
Oh
show.
my god, his
Yeah.
card stuff's so good. It's just so good. And then and Terry Fader, obviously, he was
Yeah.
the first one to come to Vegas and have a show.
Yeah, but the winning of these shows, one, you're then always like I'm still associated to AGT. I'm never
Yes.
going to get away from that. I've
Yeah.
always been discovered on, but that's just because of the interwebs and what it is now.
Exactly.
But it's still trying for me is to build the brand now to step away from all of that.
Yes.
It's the hard challenge. But my experience on the show was great. They treated me really, really well. I got to it was their decision for me to do the gloves because I thought it
Was that so? They saw a
They-
video of all your stuff.
We submitted like we've got this. So like I had all the material that we put forward, and then I said I'm interested in doing this routine first because I think this would be my best bit. And they were like, we think the gloves would go over very well. I had done the gloves on so many other TV shows throughout the UK
Yes.
and Europe or not. I thought everyone had already seen it.
Yes.
And so then they went, no,
No,
we don't.
nobody
think,
in the
nope,
US
nope.
has- no.
And so suddenly they were very, very right. So at that point, I knew that they knew what they were doing in the sense of them making a TV show, and also because I knew that they wanted me in it, I knew that they weren't going to kind of screw me over in that
Yes.
sense. So they want to make a good TV show. I'm going to provide them good content. So it was very much that relationship.
It was a
all the
good,
way
yeah, it was a
through.
nice,
Yeah.
good simian right there.
Yeah. So I just needed to know that, I was delivering and making sure that I was getting out of them what they were getting out of me, really.
So you're on. You do the glove thing, which obviously the glove thing, and then the
Lady in Red.
the Lady in Red, which was your opening bit, which we saw in the video, obviously, and that just blew up. And Howie came out like the other ones looked at you like, what the.
They're a bit confused about it. Simon,
really...
you watch him kind of transition from what is this to smiling to
yeah.
it's okay. Howie loved it straight away.
Yeah,
he was
and Howie, I get why he loved it because he
prop comic,
was a prop comic. Yeah. I mean, I remember watching his HBO specials when I was a kid, and he was putting a rubber glove on his head and blowing it up. And he also had the bag. He also had the bag.
Really?
He did have a bag. Yes, he did have a satchel.
You
have to look up, and he wore like bright colors, and he would do the little Bobby voice and like all this stuff. It was like, and he had big giant hair at the time.
Excellent.
He had a huge afro kind of hair.
I've never seen any.
Oh my God, it's so good. So that's why when I had seen him when he came back out on AGT and he had no hair, I was like, what the hell? Like he had so much hair, and then all of a sudden none. It was really weird.
Turns out it was a prop.
It was a prop, and he keeps it in. It's still in the bag. So you get up there and you do that thing, and Howie like stood up and was like, "No, this is like good. He's taught." They're looking at like what, and then he's like, "No, this is really good." And but you had told me a story about how that changed.
Throughout the series, I think I think I upset him maybe because you're not allowed to touch his hands or anything like that.
Because he's germaphobe.
Yeah. And then also, my job as a clown is to undermine anyone with status. That's the job of a clown. Okay, so
I'm going to F with you until you're very uncomfortable.
Yeah, and the other thing was that the show is it still sponsored by Dunkin' Donuts? I'm not sure, but after the show recording, we all had to go to the Dunkin' Donuts room and.
I have been in that room. It was a very interesting
in the Dunkin' Donuts room. Yeah, it's a set for a start.
It's a set.
There's no coffee and there are no donuts. And at the end of a 12-hour filming day, you want a donut. But we would go to this dressed-up room, and essentially it's filming a commercial for Dunkin' Donuts. Hey, we're in the Dunkin' Donuts room, taking out. I used to hide behind a pot plant because I thought that was funny.
I remember the big plant.
It started a theme now of me putting pot plants into shows. So I really, really liked having a pet pot plant. But I would originally hide behind this pot plant so the cameras couldn't film me. Yeah. And the camera guys thought it was pretty funny because they would, I'd be moving around behind my pot plant. They'd be interviewing somebody and you see a plant in the background, which is stupid. But eventually they tracked me down and they went, right, Howie's coming down. He's going to interview Tapeface. We're going to do that. I'm holding the pot plant. I'm holding the bag of balloons. I'm holding this metal stand. Anything I can do to hide myself kind of thing.
Yeah.
And Howie's there talking to me, chat. And I just had this idea that popped into my head. I just dropped everything and I just walked away from him. And I don't think he liked that. I think he was a bit upset that I said
He was pissed that you
He was a bit pissed that
Well, I mean, you weren't going to actually talk.
I wasn't going to talk
anyway.
or anything, but I just sort of dropped everything around. And admittedly, it did drop everywhere. It kind of maybe knocked into one of the other contestants kind of thing. And I marched out and there was like, oh, you shouldn't have done that. Or that's a bit of... So I don't think we sort of... I don't know. He started seeing me as the clown maybe. But there's this one photo, and I will put it on social media one day. And it's just of Howie in the background just glaring at me at some point. I'm not sure. I'll need to upload it and have a look at it.
Oh,
it's
my
very,
God.
very
It
funny.
was just like seething. Like,
I don't know what he's thinking. He's looking at me thinking he's a clown, and that was my job. I was the clown.
So I have a funny story to tell you. I when we were off air, I started to tell you, but I wanted to save it. So recently, so your act, now that it's become viral, millions and millions of views on YouTube and all the stuff, you're starting to find people doing it.
Yes, that's one.
Who are not authorized,
not
obviously.
Authorized
they just are like, okay, I watched this video. I went to the store and bought some oven mitts and sewed some buttons
it's
on,
so
and
easy to
and then
do,
also
isn't it?
took the music,
like
took it verbatim, and the look,
it's
like there's
interesting
guys
to
literally
watch.
dressed like you,
doing
going out there with puppets and all kinds of stuff,
and they're not quite getting it right. The quality control is just that wee bit off.
Exactly, and I
the
found
first time I saw a video of my act, it was really funny to watch. I did laugh a lot, but it was that thing of just going, it's a bit awkward. But then that was, again, it reinforced the idea of going, I should be branding this with other performers, and I should be in control of this. Because the audience watching the terrible impersonator
has no idea.
Has no clue. And they
just think,
oh,
that's cute.
And they don't care as long as they're entertained.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a case of going, if I can be in charge of what they're doing and make sure it's
this
perfect.
is my...
some of
you
them
birthed
are
this thing.
Awful. Some of them are
Yeah.
really,
Have you
really
seen
bad.
any of them that were good, that actually did a decent job impersonating you? Or have they all just been shit?
Have there been a couple of okay ones? No, they've been pretty rough, really.
They just didn't understand.
They didn't understand why they're doing it. So many people sort of just go...
They're duplicating the moves, but there's no story behind it. They're just going, okay, I'm doing this.
It's like watching a monkey play Scrabble.
Yeah. which I want to watch right now. We're gonna cut to a commercial.
That's
now.
my
Love it.
celebrity crush, a Scrabble playing monkey.
Oh, dude, monkeys are the best. Have you ever played with a live monkey?
I'll play Scrabble.
It is.
You got banana, triple word score.
A buddy of mine had a chimpanzee, and I remember the first time I met it. It's in the cage, so we're like introduced through the cage, and he sticks his hands through the cage. I was playing with my boots, and I had rings on and stuff. And he's looking at them, and at the same time, I look down, and his feet are whacking away. He has a little red rocket out, and he was just going to town, and I was like.
As he's touching your hands, doing a thing.
Yeah, I was just like, this.
Oh,
this
man.
Is,
If
like,
you could,
only
you would.
Only a monkey can do that. I can't do that. You can't do. You get in trouble.
I love him.
So you do the AGT thing. It blows up, and so now you're like, okay, you're getting up. Now you're getting up close to the top 10.
Yeah,
And-
we
and-
didn't. My goal was to make the top 5. That's all I wanted to do.
Yes.
Actually, the original goal for AGT was to do every single TV spot. That was the real key, because then that's the advertising
Yeah.
exposure. Then the personal ego in me was going, make top 5.
Yes.
If I can make top 5, that's the win.
Because if you're in the top 10, you do the tour. Is that correct? Or you
they-
go on a live. There's. I know they do a live show here.
Oh yeah, no.
They don't do that anymore.
No, they do the live show, but there's no tour.
There's no tour
and I
anymore.
think the live show is you get asked to be on it, kind of thing.
Okay, so
Yeah.
now it's not just whoever was in
Not
it.
just whoever's in the top
Okay,
10. They sort of
gotcha.
cherry pick from the top 10.
From the people
or-
that they really liked,
Yeah.
pretty much. Yeah.
So for me, I wanted to make the top 5 because again, the clown in me and undermining it. I had a photo shoot by a really good photographer called Matt Crockett back in the UK, and he took one photo of Tapeface with these big sunglasses on, and
Yeah.
it just looked awesome. It was just a clean headshot. And so every time we were doing the eliminations and voting off kind of thing, I would go on stage, and in my satchel were those glasses. So I thought, if I get voted off, I put the sunglasses on and I walk off stage, and I instantly post that picture, and I put Tapeface out. And then the original plan was to go off social media for a month.
Yeah.
And then people think the character's dead, that's it, there's no
Yeah.
more Tapeface. It lasted about a day because I love social media. But then if you make top 10, you just have to walk away, that's it. If you make top 5,
Yeah.
Nick Cannon would talk to you. So he would come over and he'd say, so
okay.
how was your journey on America's Got Talent? And all I wanted to do, because I had it in my bag for that final show, I bought my own microphone. Because all I wanted to do was put the sunglasses on, take the mic out, drop it, and walk off. And that would have been fantastic. What a way to end a show. And I never got to do that.
And you never got to do it.
No, that sucked.
Who was the now? So you use a lot of people in your show,
Yeah.
obviously. So you have a bit in the show with racing horses.
Yes.
And a toilet bowl, and a
Yes.
toilet seat, and
6 months of my life for that 3 minutes.
6 months exactly.
Yep.
People don't realize how hard that is.
Yeah.
But so
Not
you
just this.
not just that, but you so you use Mel B.
I
Correct?
used Mel B for that.
But that was not your original
It wasn't my original
choice.
plan. My original plan was to use Simon for that routine, but he didn't want to play.
He didn't want to play
I
one.
found out the day before filming the finale of AGT that he did not want to come up and be a volunteer. In fact, no one was allowed to use him for a volunteer for that final show.
Really?
Yeah.
He just turned
Just
everybody
flat
down no
out,
matter
he
what
just
it
said
was.
all he was going to be doing was watching the show that night. He would not be chosen as a volunteer for anyone.
Wow.
So I had to shift it to Mel B.
And then-
it kind of worked because
Yeah.
now we had this kind of through-line story of Mel B she'd thrown water at some point and she
Okay, so she was pretty game to go.
it was
for,
kind of game. It kind of
yeah.
worked. There was a nice kind of, it worked as a bit to choose her. I normally don't like choosing female volunteers to do the horses routine. This is my own personal thing
Yeah.
because I find it a bit weird to throw a plunger at a woman.
Yes.
And that's just my own morals. I'm just a big fan of
Yeah.
don't throw plungers at women. That's a good rule of thumb to live by.
Hashtag don't throw plungers
Hashtag
at
don't throw
women.
plungers at women. Yeah. But men, throw your plungers. Do
Yes.
whatever you need. But they were keen for it. Even in fact, the staple gun routine,
Yes.
the popping of balloons routine. Heidi Klum walked past a rehearsal, and she wanted to do it.
Really?
Yeah, she was keen to.
She was
do
like, "Oh,
that
this looks
routine."
like fun.
She was like, "I want to do this routine," and I had to say, "I'm not going to do it. I refuse.
won't shoot you
I will
with-
not shoot staples at all. I'm sorry. It's just I'm not going to do a thing where I'm shooting staples at someone. Like guys, I can happily do it, but for me, morally, no,
just
I
just not your thing.
Not
Man,
my thing,
I have similar things with stunts that I
Yeah.
use where it's like I gear the routine because women are sometimes for me are just so much easier
Oh,
to work with. The testosterone and the
The
ego
ego.
is not there.
Yeah.
And it's like they're gonna have more fun.
Yeah.
And so I could just play with them and where the guy is like, you're not gonna scare me, you're not gonna impress me.
Don't you undermine me?
Yeah,
in front of
yeah,
my-
it's that kind of thing. So I totally understand that. But before I got off track, the story I wanted to tell you recently about people impersonating you in China. I have a friend of mine named Gino DeVille. He's a comedy magician.
Yeah.
He was doing a TV show, and there was this Chinese comedian kid on, and the producers came to him and were like, put on these things and go out there and then do the bit. And they literally played him a video
And then
of
sent it
you
out.
on AGT. This is like literally like a couple of weeks ago.
Wow.
Literally a couple of weeks ago.
When is this going to come out?
So let me finish. This is the best part. So so Gino writes me from Shanghai to tell me this. He's like, you got to tell Sam when you see him, this is what happened. The kid looked at it and was like, this is somebody else's material. I'm not doing that.
Wow.
And he turned it down. And this was a huge show, huge comedy show in China. And he said no.
That's
and then they
spectacular.
made him do some. He had to wear some kind of
bet.
goofy suit and run around. And but
That's interesting.
But he
See, a guy in Brazil.
You never hear of that.
A guy in Brazil didn't turn it down.
Yes.
So the TV show came to him, and they just went, "Here's the costume, here's the thing, put it on, and go out there and do it." And he did it, and he thought he would go under the radar and not be noticed.
Really?
Yeah. But my Facebook tape face fans sort of hunted him down
Oh,
to
wow.
the point that he got in touch with me saying, "Can your fans
Please lay off."
Please tell your fans to leave me alone."
So we have an interesting thing. We actually can take phone calls. So if there are people listening, and I hope
listening. Come
there's
on.
other than just the
Nobody
4 or
listens
5
to
people in here.
mine.
Woo! We have a live line. You can call in at 702-660-7666. The studio lines are open, guys. Call on in, and you can talk to Sam Wills, tape face
ask
himself,
another
and you can
random
ask
question.
like weird random questions. I mean, I got
Speak to a real New Zealander. Hear the
Yes.
accent.
You get a free Kiwi at the end of the show. But we are going to be giving away those 2 tickets, guys. So if you guys are listening, you guys want 2 VIP tickets to come see
see a
Tape Face.
show.
It's really great. It's in a great venue.
It is, the
and
House
it
of
used to
Tape.
be the House of Tape used to be a hamburger.
It used to be, what was it? KGB.
KGB like hamburger place,
a Russian burger bar.
And I had seen it, and then like I walked in after you came in and you took it over, and it's like completely
Yeah, we
like
kitted out. We
night
put a
and
lot
day.
of gaffer tape in there.
Yeah, how much gaff tape?
About $3,000 worth of tape.
$3,000.
Yeah,
Now, for those of you guys who might not know about gaff tape is about $45 a roll.
Yeah.
But it is the best tape in the world,
bee's knees. I
hands
love
down.
it.
Now, what is your favorite brand?
My
of
one
tape?
brand that I use is Nashua 357 Matte Black, made by Berry Plastics. So I really should get in touch with Berry Plastics.
Yes.
See if they can say, if you're listening.
If
Berry
you're listening,
Plastics,
hey, and
please
if people
drop
are
me a
listening
line.
out there and you would like to sponsor this show or
Yeah, hit us up.
or anything like that, if you want to be, sponsor or you want to us to promote your stuff,
yeah.
please get a hold of us. You can email us. You can also call in 702-660-7666.
You can't help yourself doing that.
No, I can't. And I know it's retarded, but what are we gonna do? I mean, look at me. So here, this is one. And I've gotten asked this on talk shows and stuff before. What is? We've all had them. The Spinal Tap moments.
What?
You're familiar with Spinal Tap? The
I am
movie.
familiar with Spinal Tap. Well, what do you mean by a Spinal Tap
So
moment? For-
all performers have had that spinal. We call it a spinal tap
spinal
moment,
tap moment?
where when they're walking under "Hello Chicago" and they're
Okay.
walking, they can't find the stage.
Oh, we've done that.
Yeah. So it's
I
that
put
moment
into-
where stuff just goes horribly
Hello, Cleveland.
wrong, but then you manage to pull the show together at the last minute.
I legitimately had a Spinal Tap moment where we couldn't find the entrance to the stage.
You couldn't find the
exactly
entrance.
the same thing, and we were filming a documentary, and we have it on film. And
Oh, my
and a
God.
documentary called "Not Out in Norway." It's on YouTube. Hunt it out. But yeah, we were in the assembly venue in Edinburgh Fringe, and we just couldn't find the entrance. I was in a dressing room at the.
They didn't have the arrows on
there
the
was
floor. There was nothing.
And we had this really wonderful, because the Edinburgh Fringe, you get a whole lot of people who are volunteering to help out and whatnot. And this volunteer just had no idea where she was going, and she was like, "I think it's this way. It could be this way."
So this
She had a
person worked there and didn't know.
She worked there and didn't know.
Oh,
And
my
she had
God.
a great kind of thick
Fan-
Russian-y accent. She's like, "I don't know." And she's
I don't
like,
know.
It could be this way.
This is not possible.
No, it's not. That's not Russian. But yeah, we just couldn't find the stage. That would possibly be my most accurate Spinal Tap moment.
Oh my God, that's so funny. I've worked with a show called The Illusionist, which
Yes.
you're probably familiar with. So some of these places we go into are like huge venues, and it was like, but thankfully they're all smart enough to know, hey, we're going to put tape
Yep.
on the floor with thing this
Big
way
arrows.
to stage.
Yep.
Excuse me, and just amazing.
Sometimes performers are not the smartest of
No,
peoples. Yeah.
I mean you're good at certain things.
yeah. Stick to your job, monkeys.
Dance,
Dance,
monkey,
monkey,
dance. See. Oh, here's a fun thing, and we have actually personally talked about some of this stuff in the past.
This could be anything.
But this is kind of one of those things I'm going to ask everybody. So you're going to be the first
Okay.
guinea pig.
Oh, brilliant.
So what are your thoughts, and do you believe in UFOs, ghosts, aliens, the flat Earth theory?
I love flat earthers. They're
I
brilliant.
do. I
They're
watch.
so good.
I confess. I sit on YouTube for hours. Sometimes.
Really?
Watching.
Don't go that far.
I
watched the
have
film.
literally. I mean, not all in one time, but
Yeah.
like I'll sit there and watch 10, 15-minute videos, like back to back, and then like
Of
the
flat
next day,
earthers.
in between my own shows, I will watch like crazy people stuff because I
Yeah.
love it so
I can't
much.
buy into the flat Earth thing.
Yeah, I have a hard time, yeah.
I can't jump on that one. The documentary was fantastic. UFOs, I think we would have to be incredibly egotistical to think we're the only things in the
the
universe.
vast
No,
openness of
that's
space.
It's a given. Ghosts, I'm always fairly skeptical. I need to see proof. I'm such a skeptic. I need to see
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
Yeah, you need to see it, feel
Yeah.
it, that kind of thing.
What are the other ones? What else is there?
Yeah,
So
UFO ghost.
I've had no experiences, ghosty experiences myself.
You've never had
really.
anything that's been happened that was weird.
I'm getting electrical shocks all the time. Maybe that's a ghosty thing. And
Or-
maybe it happened since I went to the museum. Maybe that I picked up.
Well,
a
you did come-
spirit.
yes,
I
you
did
did.
come to that, and I did actually. I noticed. I remember that I was getting shocks after being to the museum.
Really? That's
yeah.
interesting.
So maybe that is a thing. Maybe
Yeah.
I am picking up an electrical. See nothing now. Absolutely
Nothing.
nothing. No. Maybe it's just in the houses I live.
could
I
be.
get shocked.
Might
But
be bad ground
it's
wiring.
it could be just that, but it is making a new trend which I've nicknamed house gloves.
House gloves.
Yeah, so come to the house, you pop on the house gloves, and that means you don't get electrocuted. So you just touch everything with
Shuffle
gloves.
around the floor.
Yeah, yeah. I also wear giant fluffy slippers, so that's
So, like
probably
Family
not,
Guy.
Yeah, yeah. It's probably not helping. I'm charging static electricity, and
Oh
I'm
my
wondering
God.
why am I getting shocked?
That is so good. So here's another one, and I know the answer to this.
Uh-huh.
What are your thoughts on chicken wings?
Chicken wings. I love chicken wings. You can't go wrong with a good chicken
I've
wing.
never met anybody who loves chicken wings as much as this guy.
Chicken wings are good.
And it's just now in New Zealand. Do you guys have?
We do, but they're not like Americans. You nail chicken wings.
Really?
You know
what
you're
is it?
doing.
What is the difference?
The sauce. It's
It's
like the right sauce.
It's the
Yeah.
buffalo sauce.
Buffalo New York sauce.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's how I talk.
Buffalo is
Buffalo,
good.
New York, really the only thing they're good for.
Yeah.
I lived in New York and I've been to Buffalo.
It's good.
There's nothing.
Good wings.
They
good
got
wings.
they got the sauce and that's about it.
But it's like you get some hot sauce.
They're really good with snow.
Yeah. It's like there's something about a hot wing. The wings are just they're fun. They're fun
Yeah.
to eat. It's novelty food. I love eating food with my hands anyway.
Okay.
So it's like even a soup. But a wing, it's a real tactile little kind of fun thing and play with. It's good. And you got two choices. You got the little lump, little drumstick, or the
Yeah.
little wing. It's good.
So, other than your own show, what has been your favorite show you've seen in Las Vegas?
The Tournament of Kings.
Tournament of Kings.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Because
Greatest,
you get to
greatest
first
show.
of all you get to
greatest show
you
in
get
Las
to
Vegas.
eat with your hands so that
Yeah.
you're biased
You're
immediately.
shoot your whole chicken in your face. And I remember seeing the Tournament of Kings with Nick DeFat, and we were there, and it was that moment of just going, we just have to buy into this 100%.
Yes, you have to commit to it.
Otherwise, you don't have
Yeah.
a good time. So we were there. We got sat in the dragon section, and it was great. We were cheering for the bad guy, and the King of Spain was riding around,
Yeah.
and we were just screaming like idiots, "Kill the King of Spain! He's an arsehole! Kill him!" It was just so much fun, and it's a
And
great
you pound
show.
on the table. It
You're
is a really great
slamming the
show.
table,
It is a
you're
really great
screaming
show.
for bloodshed. And
My
it's
friend Antonio
ridiculous.
is the Mordred carrier, the fire guy.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah,
What a
and
job.
it's just
And when they're fighting, they're smashing each other with the swords and the shields and whatnot.
yeah,
They're really
yeah,
going
they
to
are
town.
actually they are hitting. They are
Brilliant.
making contact. It's
Greatest show in Las Vegas. Greatest show, without a doubt. Hands down. Everyone needs to see Tournament of Kings.
that's so funny. What's your favorite restaurant in town?
I haven't been there for a while, but I love a Cabo Wabo, I do.
Oh my god!
Um,
I
I'm a
do remember
sucker.
going there with it. We
I'm a
go to
sucker for that
we go to
balcony.
PBR. We go to-
PBR,
we
yeah.
go to
Anywhere
PBR
with a
lot.
balcony where you can have people wandering around is kind of fun. I love
Yes.
that people watching factor. In Vegas, I'm a big fan of Osaka for hibachi. If you're
Yes.
listening, Osaka, we love your hibachi.
Yes.
Goodness, oh my Lanta. Get me a table there. And then also there's a discovery of a new sushi restaurant just up on Sahara. Spring Mountain Road. I don't know the name of. It's a revolving sushi bar, and it's really good. But when you order it, you order these foodie bits.
We've been there. What's
It's
the name
really
of it?
cool because something revolving sushi bar.
Sapporo?
Kara, I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, it's good.
It's good though. It's good.
You order your food and the little train goes zoop, and it
Yes.
trips you up.
You
And it's
punch in the-
it almost encourages competitive eating though, because
Yes.
there's like novelty prize thing above your
Yes.
table, and you have to keep a certain number of plates.
And
in
then you
there.
get I won
Get a
her.
lanyard.
I won her some kind of stupid thing that like she threw away.
great. Brilliant.
But
But it's that
yes,
thing.
you
It's
did.
that
You don't
moment
have
where
any.
you go, "Well, I have to order another plate, otherwise
Yeah.
I don't know what happens." And you
Yes.
pop it in, and then you
It's-
go, "Oh, you need to keep eating." It's like,
But-
damn it.
The downside for me is recently, like a month ago, I went full vegan.
Oh,
I know.
Well, this has been fun.
So I literally think I need to go buy flannel and grow a man bun or something. I'm not sure, but I did it for health reasons, not because I care about animals. But I do love animals.
love it.
No, it's a joke. Come on, I mean, look at me. What the fuck you think? I mean, I love leather. I ain't gonna lie.
enough.
They make great shoes. So there it is. If you don't think they don't, you're lying. You're sitting on a leather couch. Just saying.
Vegan. Hard work. A lot of work. It's a lot of work being a vegan.
It's not.
Isn't it?
It's not.
Okay.
Oddly enough, it's not. And I've found there's some great places. I'm going to plug them because they're awesome.
All right.
The Modern Vegan here in town, over by the Double Down Saloon.
All right.
Fantastic. And it's like,
They do a vegan chicken wing.
they do.
Really?
They do.
I was joking.
They do.
It's amazing.
And actually, what you call it? Evil Pie is
Yeah,
starting
they're
a
doing a
vegan,
vegan section.
thing. And there's another place called Chef Kenny's. It's all vegan Asian restaurant.
try it. I'll
and
give it
they
a
have
whirl.
all vegan sushi. He is so good at making it look like real sushi
Well, okay.
that he
it's
even
going to happen.
He has
Eventually-
veins in the shrimp, and it's not shrimp.
That's terrifying.
I mean, we had a spicy tuna
It's going to be the
roll
way
that
forward.
blew your mind.
We're going to be growing our own meats. in a
It's
few years'
it's
time.
unbelievable.
inevitable. It's gonna
I
happen.
never thought I would. I never thought I could do it, and I thought I was going to hate everything in the way it tasted, and I have been totally proven wrong. And it has done a world of good for me. And I'm not telling. I'm not the vegan person who says you need to do it to save the earth. Well,
I'm
whatever.
not one
Do,
of those vegans.
do whatever you want. I don't care. I'll get outside with some hairspray and spray it into the ozone. I don't care what you do. You're gonna do it anyway, so it doesn't matter. But obviously, no one is listening. So 702-660-7666. You can call in, talk to Sam, or win. And that's the only way you're going to win the tickets. Otherwise,
Tickets.
I'm going to give them to some homeless person.
Yeah, that's right. I love a homeless
And that's
person
going to be
crowd.
great.
Choosing as a volunteer.
I'm going to go down to Fremont and find Elmo. Be like, I got a great show for you to go to. It's going to be your favorite thing. Oh, my God. Huh? Oh, we do have a caller. Holy shitballs. What a surprise. So, are we on there? All right, caller. You're on After Dark with Tape Face. What's your question?
Hi, I was just wondering, what would you do if you were abducted by an alien?
If I was abducted by an alien, I would take the tape off. First thing I would do is remove the tape.
The tape off of them, or you?
Tape either or. If I was abducted by an alien, I'd have to ask if there's any intergalactic chicken wings, and take me immediately to an intergalactic chicken wing restaurant. I'm not sure if I would have to then go. You need to come and meet some people. I would need to take them to prove that they're real, or I would move them into my house and keep them all to myself.
I don't think that we're talking about the kind of alien.
Different
thing.
sort of alien.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That would be my alien abduction. If I was abducted by aliens, I would probably be a really terrible representation for Earth. I
Yeah?
think that would be the worst
I don't
thing
think
possible.
so.
No.
I mean, it would be very confusing.
it would be really confusing.
Very confusing.
Yeah. So I think that would be me trying to be an ambassador for mimes for Earth.
The Marcel Marceau.
Marcelo, the modern day Marcel Marceau intergalactic mime version. Or what I'd do is I'd probably franchise into Mars.
And open up a chicken wing.
That's what I'd do. That's what I would do if I was abducted by aliens.
Oh my God. Well, it is 6 o'clock.
On the dot.
Huh? Oh, are you still there?
Caller.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you get
Oh,
tickets.
she faded up. Oh, you're going to win the tickets. You're going to stay on the line. You're going to talk to Aaron, our producer, and he's going to hook you up. Thank you for calling in. And thank you guys, whoever was watching and listening. And if you're going to watch this later on,
Yeah.
thanks for watching it later on.
Come on
And-
down to the House of Tape and see some shows. We're
Yes.
down there 6 nights a week at 7 p.m. And you come and see us do our thing.
Come see it. It's a great show. You're going to love it. It's fantastic. Sam, I can't thank you enough.
Yep.
Please have a great time. Thank you so much for coming in, and let's go get some chicken wings.
Yes.
We're out, freaky bitches.